We want to welcome you today. Please continue eating. We just want to get started. We have a lot to share with you today. Welcome to the Hopkins County United Way Campaign Workers Luncheon. We appreciate each of you attending today. This is the 65th year for Hopkins County United Way. Our community should be proud that the tradition of pulling together and helping in our community is still so strong. And we appreciate you sharing your time to help collect United Way packets this year. Each of you here is here to help. As you go out collecting packets, giving a helping hand, you also give hope to these organizations. And as you bring donations in, knowing that every dollar donated is put to good use, your helping hand gives hope to the people that are helped by these organizations. Each of you are here today is important, and we appreciate you giving up your time and lending a helping hand to helping Hopkins County United Way meet its goal this year.
If you would, for just a moment, let's pray a blessing over the United Way here in Hopkins County and each and every one of you. Dear Heavenly Father, we come here together to try to be like you and Lord, to help people that need you, to show, Lord, that your love throughout this campaign. God, we see our signage that's united together with hands together. Let us unite with you, God. Use us, Lord. Let us be your hands and your feet as we go out in this community, Lord, and ask these businesses and individuals to help us to help others. We pray especially a special blessing on this endeavor and to bless each and every one of these workers here with us today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Now, we're very pleased to announce that Mike Horn is our 2021 campaign chairman. Let's give him a hand. Before you come up now, let me say a few words here. He was raised in Garland, Texas, and graduated from Texas A&M University in Commerce with a bachelor's in management and a master's in marketing. While in college, he began working as a delivery driver for the company he now owns, Latsons.com, which is a professional printing and office products team and located here in Commerce and Sulphur Springs. Mike and his wife, Mallory, we're glad to be here, and she's supporting and encouraging him all the way. They've lived here in Sulphur Springs since 2008, and Mike's also enjoyed serving the community as a board member for the Chamber of Commerce, and as a member and past president of the Rotary Club of Sulphur Springs. He enjoys playing sports with his two boys, Mason and Hudson, and working on outdoor projects with them. So, would you please welcome our campaign chairman for 2020 and 2021, Mike Horn.
Well, I think most people know Bill pretty well, and he told me I could talk for what, an hour and a half? Okay. So I hope everybody's got plenty of time. No, Bill, thank you. Thank you for everybody that helped me get to this point to be the campaign chair. Susan has done wonderful things. I think anybody that's been involved with United Way knows that. I was going to give you a long history, but Bill took care of that, so I don't really have to cover that part, so we can skip about 20 minutes there. I want to thank Mallory for being here. Thank you, Mallory. I do want to cover this year, our goal is $150,000. Seems like a lot of money. It's a little less than our goal last year. Part of that is because of what 2020 is. I think that we are going to greatly exceed that goal. But just to make sure, we lowered it just a tiny bit. Our theme this year, United Together. I thought that would be the perfect theme just because of what 2020 has been. It has, with COVID, has separated us for a long amount of time. We had to stay quarantined, we had to stay in our houses, we weren't supposed to go in businesses, we weren't supposed to do anything together. And then also with all the social injustice that's been going on. I think united together is really what we all need to strive to be, not just here in Hopkins County, but worldwide. This year we have a couple of new things. Brandon Williams is going to come up here and help me with one of them and explain one of the new things. So Brandon, if you want to kind of come up.
Hello, how y'all doing?
Good.
See, he stole my thunder. I was going to do the joke about a 30-minute PowerPoint, and then he comes up here and ruins it for me. So we'll get started on in all seriousness. So I've been a Hopkins County United Way volunteer for, I think this will be my 9th year. We had talked about it in passing, a few things, and nobody really ever wanted to do it. So I made a deal with Susan. I said, I'll start a Facebook page and run this Facebook page. But that's going to be in place of me going out and delivering packets. I don't want to do both. It is a little more labor intensive than you would think. So before COVID happened, the board voted to do a Facebook page. It was like in November, just to get us additional free advertisement out there and keep us relevant on social media and things, because that's the world we live in. Maybe not for everybody, like Mike Jumper, he's the only one in the room that doesn't have a Facebook page, but for the most part, everybody does. So we created that, and I wanted to read some Facebook statistics for you guys, because I think it's pertinent to why we did this. So 1.62 billion users visit Facebook daily. Facebook is the leading social platform. It reaches about 60% of all internet users. 7 out of 10 adults have a Facebook page. 74% of high-income earners use Facebook. That's important for charities and people that want to donate. Users spend an average of 38 minutes on Facebook each day. 78% of American consumers have discovered a retail product that they want to buy via Facebook. So they might figure out there's a way to donate to Hopkins County United Way, and they didn't realize when they logged in. Facebook ads. This is pretty cool. We've done this for like Rotary Crawfish. I'm an admin on one of our club soccer pages. You can drive traffic and engagement really specifically. So as an example, I spent $20 today just promoting our Hopkins County United Way Facebook page. So I did it Sulphur Springs, the center of Sulphur Springs in a 22-mile radius. You can do all sorts of demographics. You can put men, women, both, this age to that age. You can get really specific on interests and things like that. So you can promote the page. So it's going to show up on people's Facebook page when they're going to check their validated political opinions tonight while they're eating dinner. They're going to show up, oh, Hopkins County United Way. Maybe I should go like that. You can promote a post, a specific thing that we're wanting to do. You can promote the Shop Now button. So this button right here, this Shop Now, if you click on there, you can actually make a donation to Hopkins County United Way through a nonprofit PayPal link. Now, when we originally started this, till about a month ago, that said donate now. Well, because Facebook is Facebook, they changed it and they have their own merchant service process now. And for it to say donate now, you have to use Facebook's merchant services system in order to do that. So that's why it says shop now. It's a little confusing. But I'm going to run an ad that helps promote that type of donation as well. So that's just another avenue, as we're not doing as much face-to-face, might help people do that. Okay, another thing. Let's see here. Raise your hand if you have a Facebook page. All right, can y'all take your phone out right quick and open your Facebook app?
You might need to, because they check the Wi-Fi here.
Oh, that's all right. They have data. It's all unlimited data these days.
I'm just making.
It's all good. So if y'all can search Hopkins County United Way, and if you can go give our page a like, and I'll hurry, I know I'm running out of time here. So the reason I want you to do that, so we have currently 316 likes. We'd like to get that up to 500, 1,000, however many, because that helps us remain relevant. Every time you like a post, you share a post, you comment on something, everybody that you're friends with can see you doing that, and it helps drive enthusiasm and engagement to our nonprofit organization. So when you see us post something right now, the content that's being posted, it's basically what's on the brochure. We're doing nonprofit spotlight. I've done CASA, Community Chest, among others. I think I've done about 6 or 8 so far, and I'm in no particular order, just doing it randomly. So when you see those, just give it a like. That will help us remain relevant. So anyway, that's the update. Facebook page isn't the newest, latest, greatest thing, but it is for Hopkins County United Way, and I think this might help us attract some more attention to our campaigns year after year. So thanks for letting me do it. And thanks for letting me talk about it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you. So one of the things that excited me about when Brandon was going to start doing Facebook is I don't like Facebook. I'm not a big fan of it, but it is very popular, like Brandon talked about. So I'm glad somebody has volunteered their time to do it. And then we started talking about PayPal. And our vision for PayPal, it might turn into something else next year, but right now it's PayPal. Our vision is not for the businesses that donate year in and year out to go on their pay. We are trying to pick up individual sponsors, people that would not traditionally donate to Hopkins County United Way because they did not know how to. Now they have an avenue to go donate, whether it's $1 or $5 or $10 or $20, every donation adds up. And we're hoping this year is kind of the start of something that's going to grow bigger and bigger every year. And then instead of always having to rely on our businesses and just our businesses and some individual donors, we can rely on our community and our county, which has 30,000 people in it, to donate a little bit here and there to get a larger donation amount in the future. Brandon touched on some of the organizations we help. There are actually 19 local organizations. They're all listed in your brochure that you should have on the table, and we have plenty of extra, and there'll be plenty in the packets that are passed out in a little while. Those are the 19 organizations that our allocations committee chose to help this year. We're very excited because this year, for the first time, we are compiling some videos of what these organizations actually do, how they help our community, how they help families, kids, how they help families that can't put dinner on the table, how they help kids that are in situations that it's hard for most of us to fathom. And we're going to go through a couple of those in just a few minutes. So I would like to talk about our volunteers. The reason we're having this meeting today is for the volunteers. So any past chairman that we have here, can you please stand up? Campaign chairs, okay, please stay standing. Go ahead, please. One thing this shows is the dedication to United Way. Look at how many people have been campaign chairs and they're still here to volunteer, with the exception of Brandon, to pass out packets. Just kidding, Brandon, he knows. That shows you how much United Way means to our community, our businesses, and the people that are involved. Y'all feel free to sit down. Some of you are probably going to have to stand back up in a second. If you are on the United Way board or have been on the United Way board, please stand up. Past board members, current board members. Please, thank you. Thank you for your service. If you have been a volunteer, let's say 5 years or more, please stand up. You've passed out packets for 5 years or more. How about 10 years or more? All right. How about 15 years or more? How about 20 years or more? It's amazing. That's his cousin. She's only 23 years old. She started when she was 3. It is amazing that the people that continue to come back and help. And I truly want to thank you. And I don't want to just stop at the people that are on the board, the people that have been chair people for the campaign, the people that have volunteered for 5 years or more, because if it was just those people, you could see there was probably 10 or 15 that stood up. Some of them kind of overlapped a little bit. It's the people that come back and the new volunteers, the ones that have been doing it 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. Those are really what help us get through this, because just like any other organization, people come and go. We love for people to stay and continue to volunteer, and we're very grateful for those people. But it's the new volunteers that come in, and I want to truly thank you, because it is taking a big step if you've never done this before. It's not a hard process, but if you've never done it, you come in. I remember, it's probably been about 8 or 10 years when I started volunteering. I remember probably Marquita got me involved. She got me involved in most everything in the community. So thank you, and I owe you one. But I'm sure it's Marquita, and I came in, and I came to my first luncheon, and I'm like, you know, what's going on? What am I have these packets, what am I supposed to do with these packets? And the process seems simple, and it really is a simple process. You'll hear Susan say this in a minute, you gotta work the packet. That's their common theme, work the packet. So you just get the packets, contact the businesses, deliver to them. I do want to add this year, please be aware of the business. If they have requirements to wear a mask, please wear a mask. Be respectful of what the business is asking you to do. Because really, all these donations add up, and each little donation, whether it's $5 or $500 or $5,000, every one counts. Susan, would you like to come talk a little bit about the packets?
Sure. Well, I just want to reiterate what Mike, can you all hear me? I'm not used to the microphone. Reiterate what Mike said. Thank you. You are the helpers, and we all need helpers. And I can assure you that Hopkins County United Way needs you this year. So thank you for being our helpers. We're so grateful. So before you leave today, the majority of you will get a baggie with campaign packets and also a listing of the businesses that we want you to deliver those packets to. If you are here and you are a volunteer from your workplace, you're working your workplace campaign on behalf of Hopkins County United Way, you're going to get a little bit more than maybe those with the packets. But all of you will leave with a listing of who we want you to deliver those packets to.
Not all of us.
Do what?
Not all of us.
Not all of us. The majority of you will have 10 to 12 businesses to visit. Some of you will have less, but the majority of you are going to have about a dozen or so. So thank you for taking care of that for us. I would respectfully ask that if you are able to, as timely as possible, go ahead and get those out. These businesses are going to be expecting a campaign packet. They may not realize that it's you that's going to be making the delivery, but the majority are going to be expecting that. As you make that delivery, some will go ahead and make a donation on delivery, and you won't have to follow back up. But a lot of them, you will have to go back, make a phone call. We ask that you just be thorough and complete in your follow through, because we do want to account for every single packet, whether they are making a contribution or not. We want to at least know that we made an attempt and that we were thorough in that process. I would ask, and I think Mike kind of touched on this, that as you deliver and as you go back for follow-up, that you would approach it in a spirit of gratefulness grateful for their past contributions and also grateful that they're even considering a contribution this year. I think that that will go a long way in just helping our efforts. So maybe kind of keep that in mind. You'll have a summary sheet of the businesses to visit. That's just for your use so that you can kind of keep track of where you're going. On that listing, you'll see the amount of money that that business contributed last year. So if they're wondering, oh, I want to do kind of what I did last year, do you know what that was? You'll have that and you can share that with them. It's just a checklist for you to make sure that you're complete in delivering and following up. Some of you have a civic group to deliver to. If you're delivering to a civic club, you don't have a worksheet for that organization, so just be aware of that. On each campaign envelope, I've already listed the business, your name. Your job is to also fill in a contact phone number for yourself so that if they have questions or if they have a contribution, they can text or call you, and that makes for an easy follow-up. There's also a place for you to indicate the date that you plan on swinging back by to collect a contribution, so you can fill that out also. A few of you are working with a friend, and so if you're sharing a set of packets, I've not put a name on those packets, so you'll fill that in. Workplace campaign people, I know that we've got a lot of you here. Mike is available to either come out and visit with employee groups, do something virtual. So if that's something that you're wanting, we're more than happy to help coordinate that. You can get in touch with me or Mike. If all of you should have my information just from email and stuff, my phone number's also there, and my number is also on the front of the campaign brochure, so it's handy there for you also. We will begin our weekly report meetings on Tuesday, October 6th, over at the AgriLife Extension Office across the parking lot from the Dairy Museum. I will email you all of those report meeting dates. You do not have to be at those meetings. Know that you don't have to be there. But we would love for you to come if you're able to come, and especially if you have received contributions in between now and October 6th, and then weekly thereafter. If you have contributions, bring those to those meetings. If you can't come to the meetings and you've got donations, let me know, let Mike know, maybe get with another volunteer that is coming and they can bring that to the meeting. If you can't come, we will make sure that we get those from you. So do not feel like you have to come to those weekly meetings. Real quickly, I want to thank Charlotte Henderson, Linda Christian, Beverly Owens for coming early to help with getting everything set up. Just a housekeeping note before we finish up as you're leaving. I think we've got trash cans at either door, and then also a bucket if you've got ice or drinks still left in your cup, if you'll just empty that in that bucket. Are you going to? No, just a couple more things and I can touch on them.
Yes.
You've got that. Okay. Any questions? So before you leave, you're either going to leave with a baggie or a box. So see me over that way and I'll get all of that information to you. Any questions about packets, the logistics of that? Most of you, I realize that you've got it down pat. Let me know if I can do anything to help any of you all.
Thank you, Susan. I will tell you, Susan keeps the wheels rolling with United Way because she does all the background work. I sometimes think, why do we have campaign chairs if Susan does all the work? All right, a couple more reminders to go off of what Susan's saying. I told you the goal this year is $150,000. United Way Worldwide, we pay a membership dues to them every year. In the past, I believe it was always 1%. They changed it this year. It's actually 2% of whatever our goal is, but on top of that, there is a minimum. So we have to pay $3,000 this year, which is about almost double what we paid last year, is that right? So $3,000 is the minimum mark that you have to pay to be a member of United Way Worldwide. So I wanted to touch on that because it is in the brochure, just so people understand that. One of the other new things that we're doing this year, it was requested by a few people that we do not, and the board voted on this, we do not do a 100% donation goal like we have done in the past. So at the report meetings, if somebody's goal was $100 and they gave $100, we would say, oh, XYZ company had 100% of their goal and we wanted the same amount. What we realized is every donation is important, whether it's 100% of what their goal was or it's 80%. Sometimes all they can afford is that 80%. And we don't want to make people feel like their donation isn't important. So we went ahead and made that change as a board this year. Another quick thing is this year, it's convenient owning a printing company because you can come up with last minute ideas. So a couple weeks ago, I told Susan, I said, I'm going to print some posters. And she said, what do you mean you're going to print some posters? I said, I'm going to print some posters. You know, every event that ever happens in Hopkins County has a poster. Why can we not print some posters? So we actually have two versions. This version at the very bottom just says donate today. This is the one that is made for the workplace, the places where it's going to be payroll deduction, those kind of things. And they're going to be by your packets if you want to take some and hang them up at your place of business. If you want to, you know, give them to employees, put them in the break room, however you want to do it. And then there's another version for everybody else that almost says the exact same thing, except for it says PayPal at the bottom. We didn't want the bigger businesses that do payroll deduction and do a big campaign to confuse employees to think that they needed to go pay on PayPal. So we try to make that as clear as possible. Feel free, there's plenty. If we run out of them, I conveniently own a printing company, I get more by the end of the day. So please grab some when you get your packets. What the most exciting thing, and I've been kind of dragging this on so that I could save this part for last, is Bill was very gracious to have his social media person help us with creating some videos. We're going to go through a few videos of some of the organizations that our efforts are going to help. I kind of had this idea right when I was campaign chair, and then COVID hit, and I was like, I really need to do this because I don't know if I can even go out to see some of these businesses. So Bill helped work out all the logistics. Susan got a lot of these places scheduled. We didn't get everybody scheduled because it's hard to get 19 videos, but I think we got about 7 organizations. We got some volunteers. We're working on combining a big video to go all together, but today I want to show a couple of videos from some of the organizations we helped, just 2 or 3, because I don't want to keep everybody here late. And the reason these videos are important to me is because if you've ever served on the allocation committee, you'll have one of these organizations, or really a lot of them, come in. I know a lot of people in this room have been on the allocations committee or have been in the room presenting to the allocations committee. It really pulls on your heartstrings. The first time I was on an allocations committee, thanks to Marquita, I started listening to some of these people like Gina Wall talk, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't know this stuff happened. We're in Hopkins County, this perfect little town, and this stuff doesn't happen in Hopkins County. And you know, you read the brochure, you read what the organizations do, you kind of know what they all do, but do you really know? And that's kind of one of my goals this year. I want people to really know what United Way is, really know who United Way helps, and these videos I think could go a long way to do that. Brandon's also going to start posting some of them on our Facebook page, so be sure that if he posts that you like it and share it, so that we can get it out to more people, because you'll understand after you watch a couple of these. So give me just a second, I'm going to get them pulled up here.
My name is Imelda Tatch. I am the Executive Director for the Northeast Texas Child Advocacy Center, and we serve 8 counties. One is Hopkins. We see children from ages 0 to 17. We interview children ages 2 to 17, and also adults that are mentally challenged. We interview them. Forensic interviewers have been well trained to speak with children and those adults that I spoke about on alleged child abuse, and the majority of our cases are sexual abuse. We see children sexually abused, severely physically abused, or those that have witnessed a violent crime. We have had children that have witnessed domestic violence, even murder. Our numbers are actually picking up right now because school has finally gone back into session. After every break, we see an influx of children. So this has been an unusual time for us, since nobody's been at school since March, which means the children, they're in the home sometimes with their abuser. They're in a place where they really cannot have a safe place to go or talk to someone. And so that's what we are here for. We are here for a place to come, for a child to come and be able to tell their experience of what's happened to them. It's a very traumatic thing for them, and so we try to make our building, all of our staff, everyone, just focus on reducing the trauma of that child, for that child. We have follow-up care with our family advocates. They follow up with the family. They speak to the family, the protective family that's with the child, their family that comes with them, that we follow up with them. We talk to them about the resources that we have for them, refer them for counseling. All of our counselors have to be trained in trauma-focused therapy. It's called TFCBT, trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy, and it focuses on the trauma that the child has been through. Once you've been abused, it really doesn't ever go away, but you can learn coping skills on how to deal with it. One of the main focuses too, I know, is telling the child, reassuring the child that this is not their fault, because they have been told a lot of times that this is your fault, or if you hadn't done this or that, we wouldn't be here. So that's kind of what we're dealing with. So when families come in and they get that protective and follow-up care, that's some of the things that they have to deal with. It's coping skills for the whole family. Child abuse does not happen to just the child, it happens to the whole family, the extended family, which is why we focus on that. Taking care of the entire family. We work together with a multidisciplinary team. We certainly do not do this on our own, and the only way children come to us is through Child Protective Services or law enforcement. And when a child makes an outcry, the outcry is reported to the database. We get a copy of that intake. Our intake coordinator works together with our Child Protective Services and law enforcement to set up the interview. Once everything is in place, they've got the forensic interview, and then they've got the counseling and the family advocacy. All of that works together for this child, and the prosecutor, the district attorney, can use all of that information. They all come together. We all work together as a cohesive team. Then it's possible, it's not impossible, that the child might not have to testify. So the counselors give them coping skills, like I said, and also when it's time for court, if they have to go to court, then they can, help them deal with the fears that they have about that and how they can understand what they need to do. Or our family advocates can go to court with them, and they can be that friendly face in the courtroom. Our Hopkins County DA and that team, we work really well together. And with Hopkins County this year, we've seen a little over 300 children total. 70 of those children were from Hopkins County. The help that we get from United Way is amazing for helping us with that, with the counseling. Like I said, we do not charge anything for any of our services, nothing to the parents at all. But with our contract counselors, if a child comes to them and they don't have any insurance, they can't pay their copay, or whatever the reason is, that we pick up the cost of that. And so that's some of the ways that money that we get from United Way helps us with that. We never want anything to stand in the way. We surely don't want a lack of funds for a family to stand in the way from them being able to get that counseling that they need. We know that we cannot change anything that's happened before, but we do our very best to make everything better for the child from here on out.
All right, so those videos just quickly touched on 3 of the organizations out of the 19 that we help. We have more videos that we will be releasing via social media, but I just wanted to show everybody a little bit deeper dive into some of these organizations and why United Way does this, why a lot of these volunteers volunteer, and you know, if you see some of the people from these organizations, don't let them just thank us for raising money for them. Thank them for what they do in our community. Just a few thank yous, and then we'll get to passing out our packets. First, I want to thank First United Methodist Church and the staff for allowing us to host the event here, our Workers' Luncheon, so thank you very much. I want to thank Edward Jones and Chris Voorhees for sponsoring the lunch. Sandy Wallace and Plain and Fancy for providing the wonderful meal we had today. I want to thank my team at Ladsons.com for creating the campaign materials. We've got a wonderful staff that's helped come up with the design and getting things printed and in order. And they always say, when I'm their customer, it's a lot harder than me. They really do say that. I want to thank KSST, Star Country, and the News Telegram for being here to cover our event, so thank you very much. Sure. Susan, did I miss anybody? I did miss one person. Susan is the backbone of United Way. I'm probably not the first or last campaign chair that's going to say that. She truly makes United Way happen. I've been on the board, I've been on the allocation committee, but being the campaign chair, truly, she makes this job so much easier. She does it out of the kindness of her heart. I mean, it is just amazing. She even called me yesterday, and she's like, I just want to make sure everything's okay. I was surprised she didn't call me this morning a couple of times. I actually text her, but the last thing I want to say before we pass out the packet so we can get out of here timely is, I looked this up and I feel bad that I did not know this, but I'm under the assumption that a few other people in this room probably don't either. I was getting ready to do a online little Zoom Microsoft meetings meeting for Atmos last Friday. Thank you for that, Beth. And I was thinking to myself, what is truly the mission of United Way? So I looked up, the mission for United Way is United Way improves the lives by mobilizing the caring power of communities around the world to advance the common good. And I felt bad that I don't know that. So I'm hoping I'm not the only person in the room that didn't know that, and that I don't feel as bad when I leave today, but I wanted to leave everybody with that mission statement from the United Way worldwide website. And lastly, just thank you, because like Susan, this could not happen without everybody in this room. And if you need anything at all, feel free to reach out to me or Susan. All right? Thank you so much. Don't forget your packets.
Yeah.